The Delaware bankruptcy court has authorized new FTX CEO John Ray III, which I just love saying, to accept offers for the bankrupt firm's European and Japanese units, along with its derivative arm LedgerX and stock clearing platform, which is called Embed. These companies are essentially regulated entities in other jurisdictions and are reportedly individually solvent, even though they were included in the broader FTX bankruptcy. The hope here is reportedly that by selling them sooner than later, they can fill the hole that was left by the former management's alleged criminal activities. And speaking of the former management, Sam Bankman-Fried's lawyers recently convinced a judge overseeing his case to shield the identities of the two reportedly wealthy individuals who have pledged nearly $250 million to secure his release to house arrest as he awaits a planned October trial. That's just one of a number of somewhat unusual concessions that the defendants have managed to achieve or extract from the Southern District of New York, which is pretty notoriously tough. A number of media outlets, including CoinDesk, have asked the judge to reconsider the public's interest in knowing who is still backing Bankman-Fried after everything that's happened, while the defense has cited safety concerns as the reason to keep them private. Somehow it feels like, despite the October trial date, which feels like it's a long way away, FTX and Bankman-Fried feel like they're likely to remain in the news for some time to come. Jen, I'll kick this one over to you first. What do you think's going on here?
Okay, well, first of all, I 100% agree that the public needs to know who these other two backers of Sam Bankman-Fried were. You know, we talk so much in this industry about doing your own research and making informed decisions, and I don't think that the public can make informed decisions if we don't know who these people are. If they are people who operate in leadership in the crypto industry or the traditional finance industry, I think it's so important to know that they stand behind Sam Bankman-Fried in this case, given what he is accused of. And that is my take. I think this is so important. And if the courts don't reveal the two names of these people, I think is just setting a really horrible precedent. Will, what do you think?
Oh, legal opinion right there from our expert on the hash. I love it. I don't really know where I stand with this. The last time we brought it up, I was sort of in the murky middle as well, because I do think that there is the possibility of violent threats going against this person, or even like physical threats going against the people who sign on this line. And just because they sign on the line doesn't mean they actually committed fraud along with SBF, right? They're just saying that they're willing to bail them out for whatever reason that is. You know, they might have own personal reasons to put this money on the line. And either way, you know, he's going to be locked up in his parents' house writing on his Substack. So like, to me, no harm, no foul. On the other side of it, yes, journalistic integrity, you want to find out who these people are, what their obligations are, or what their relationship is to SBF and the FTX circle. And I think the biggest concern here for a lot of people is who ponied up this money and how did they get that money in the first place? Are they using customer funds in order to get SBF out on bail right now? So that's the questions for me. I'm still like sitting cleanly on the fence for this one. Zach, up to you.
It's Bill Ackman. It's got to be Bill Ackman, hedge fund billionaire. Bill
Might be Bill
out
Ackman.
here standing for SBF to this day on Twitter.com. I think it's Bill Ackman. I'm just rampant speculation. Putting my bet Bill Ackman is one of the people. That's all I'm going to say on the matter.
My bet's on Kevin O'Leary.
Kevin O'Leary. No, he's mad. He's burned. He's too salty. He's still too salty. I want to go back to the previous, the story that we mentioned about, the aspects of the FTX business that are still desirable. And I think this is indeed like a good regulation story, right? These are regulated entities that play by the rules. They got the licenses that mattered in pretty restrictive jurisdictions. And of course, those business units retain value while everything else is crap. Offshore crap that was doing risky stuff that failed miserably. So I think at some level, like regulated crypto champions, those who are like, hey, we got to play by the rules, we got to make this work. Like this is a story that they can be stoked about, because LedgerX, FTX Japan, stuff like that they met high licensing standards to get those businesses off the ground. Those are the ones that weather the storm and are now going to be bought and potentially, continue to operate in good stead. So that to me is also like something that's worth stating, I think, as it relates to the things that are being sold off now to fill other holes. But hey, I'll toss it to Jen. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm coming back. So someone in the YouTube comments said, why should we know who these two people are? And then they said, so you guys can threaten them. I think the important part here is so that people can make informed decisions and make their own opinions and thoughts about the ethics of others, so that we can participate in financial products with the most knowledge possible. And that is my response to this person in the YouTube comments. Adam, will give you last words.
Yeah, so just with regards to that, I think that the other part of it is the precedent, right? Southern District of New York has a lot of very, very high-profile crimes that go through. It is atypical for this type of thing to not be made public. I'm not an expert in this, but I've read about it pretty decently as a result of this. And this is abnormal. This is not how things normally happen. So there have been a number of things like that have happened. And again, it's worth noting that the whole purpose of this, of his bail being so high, is supposedly because it puts him essentially, he has some skin in the game in order to make sure that he doesn't run. How do we know that the people who are backing him, he actually cares about, right? Like maybe it doesn't matter at all. There's just a bunch of different things that go down. But most importantly, it's about, hey, if the rules say that this is the way that it's supposed to go, then the rules should be applied equally to everybody, really irrespective of who it is. And it just doesn't feel like that's happening with SBF so far. So, the only other point I wanted to make was just was with regards to what Zach was saying about like the units that are being sold or that can be sold being solvent. Again, it goes back to the Gary Gensler thing, which is that to the extent that you can set up these frameworks in advance, that you can have compliance that works in advance, then you can avoid these types of bad outcomes. The SEC is nominally supposed to protect investors. You can't protect investors if you wait to do the protecting and you wait to provide clarity and rules that people can follow in this country until after disaster has already happened. And it doesn't matter anymore. So it's just continued point of frustration for me, but that's about all here.
Yeah, disclosure is always in the public interest. I know nothing about Bill Ackman. Bill, I love you if you're seeing this.
He's in our YouTube comments right now.
Let me shoot my shot on the speculation department sometimes, people.